Hello everyone! Answer this riddle. He is known as the Shape. His favorite weapon is a big chef's knife, and his number of victims is 112. There have been 11 movies about him, but he hasn't spoken a single word in them. Of course, I'm talking about one of the most enigmatic villains in cinema, and his name is Michael Myers. Let's find out how a frightened little boy became a killing machine. Let's go. This story happened back in 1963. Michael was only 6 years old when his parents left him at home with his 15-year-old sister and went to a Halloween party. His sister chose not to sit with her younger brother, but to wait for her boyfriend in her room. She was minding her own business, so she didn't notice Michael, dressed in a clown costume, approaching her with a huge knife. The first blows were fatal, and Michael's sister fell dead on the floor. He then calmly went down to the living room and waited for his parents to arrive, as if nothing had happened. The reason for such cruelty was a strange voice in the boy's head that he could hear in his dreams. It was the voice of a bloody teenaged boy who had killed a girl long before Michael was born, and our villain saw this terrible scene over and over again in his head and listened to the killer's screams in his dreams. After the brutal murder of his sister, Michael ended up in an institution, from which he escaped 15 years later to return to Haddonfield, his hometown. There he hunted down his younger sister, who miraculously survived but was hospitalized. The psychiatrist treating Michael tried to stop him. The hunt ended with a huge fire in the hospital, where Michael was left to burn. But the maniac managed to survive. For 10 years after the fire, Myers was in a coma until, unexpectedly, he woke up. His sister had died long ago, but managed to give birth to a daughter, who became the maniac's new target. Myers returned to Haddonfield and started a massacre. The police chased him into an abandoned mine in an attempt to stop him, but Michael was kidnapped by some cult members. It was then that some of the mysteries of Michael's strange and violent behavior were revealed to us. For 6 long years, the cultists kept the maniac tied up and found out that Michael was cursed by the spirits of Samhain. By the way, Samhain is an ancient holiday. According to tradition, on the day of Samhain, evil spirits could get into the world of people, so they were treated with all kinds of sweets and even with sacrifices. But with the advent of Christianity, this holiday was transformed slightly and became Halloween as we know it. Anyway, it turned out that it was the spirits of Samhain that made Myers kill all the members of his family. In addition, they endowed the maniac with inhuman strength and the ability to survive even the most severe injuries. Then there were many victims, including the daughter of Michael's little sister, but eventually the maniac died in a fire of the ruins of his own house. His charred body was taken to the morgue, where he came back to life, obsessed once again with murder. So that's the short story of this brutal and silent maniac. By the way, the very first Halloween movie was directed by John Carpenter, so he is the creator of the Michael Myers we all know. John himself calls his brainchild the incarnation of pure evil. In describing Michael, he recalls a schizophrenic boy he met when he went on a field trip to a mental institution. John was struck by the child's blank eyes and an emotionless face. Carpenter felt uncomfortable. The child reeked of senseless anger and anxiety. That is how the idea of the sinister and dangerous maniac, who hasn't said a word in 11 films, was born. By the way, John never planned to give any details about the maniac he created. He never explained the reasons for Michael's madness and cruelty, because he thought it would be much scarier for the viewer to not know. And we believe he was right. He made the first 2 films and considered the story complete. Then other writers and directors did other works with Michael Myers. By the way, friends, we've already done brief reviews of assassins like Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and even Chucky. If you're interested, you can check out the description under the video. All the links are there. And tell us in the comments what other monsters should Super Tony meet. See you next week. Bye-bye.